Kilimo Chapa. Agribusiness tip for beginner farmers. Research before you decide to become a farmer. Write down why you decided to become a farmer. A budget and a net worth statement will help you get an idea of where you are starting from as a farmer. Kilimo Chapa.
How are you?
Fine.
What are you doing?
Candace, what's that?
I brought you a small bonus.
Bonus for what?
Daddy said you helped us get a house, a car, and Mommy's business.
But I only helped them get the loans.
You did more than that. You got us 299 family dinners, 64 kisses on the cheek, 12 road trips to see Grandma, 42 jokes from Daddy, 49 laughs from Mommy.
In over 60 years of dealing with numbers, we've learned that the numbers that matter the most to you are the ones that matter the most to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Billions are watching.
Ilichapisha ripoti inayochunguza sakata la Kensa na kusema kuwa
asked for it. You talk, we listen.
The speaker made a communication that ultimately he doesn't want to have two parallel bills.
President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila
members who are members of parliament.
Sonar County Assembly has become the first assembly.
SRC iliweza kupitisha mswada.
Kenyatta kwa kuja na hii program ya kusaidia.
Kenyans have had to dig deeper since the government is in a tight financial spot owing to COVID-19 measures that were removed.
President and Deputy President, 80%.
Following the declaration of the vacancy of the position of the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Kenya,
is Maisha Television.
Today I'm here in Nairobi National Park, the only national park within the capital city in this world. Actually, I am telling all the people that if you are in the airport and you are stranded, don't sleep on the floor. Just get out of the airport, jump in on a car and go around Nairobi National Park, enjoy seeing the animals and the good scenery, have lunch and just go back to the airport.
A very good afternoon to you, and thank you for tuning into Maisha Television. This is Maisha Live at 1. My name is Rida Chebet.
Not long ago, he has brought buses to our schools, our secondary schools, and he was also planning to do his last bit to the schools that he had not yet given a bus.
You cannot procure leadership by organism. You cannot become a president of Kenya by destroying others.
Live from Maisha Television. This is Maisha Live at 1 with Rida Chebet.
Welcome. A section of MCAs from Baringo County have launched plans with the aim of reversing the fate of BBI after suffering a humiliating rejection. 3 MCAs have already filed a petition at Cabernet High Court challenging the legality of the process that led to the rejection by the County Assembly. The MCAs are seeking orders to stop Speaker David Kerich from certifying the results of the February 11th sittings that turned chaotic. Gilbert Nalo reports.
In a chaotic exercise last week, Baringo County Assembly rejected the Building Bridges Initiative referendum bill at the floor of the House as 30 out of 41 MCS voted no to oppose the bill. In about 4 days after the chaotic scenes from the Baringo County Assembly, the battle among MCS is still on, this time in a different manner.
Rules and laws of this nation are followed. You cannot procure leadership by hooliganism.
Yes.
You cannot procure leadership by hooliganism. You cannot become a president of Kenya by destroying others.
MCS from the KANU party have filed a petition in court to challenge the rejection of the BBI referendum bill.
Views of those honorable members were not the views of the people of Baringo. People of Baringo want public participation, and that's what we want. Let these people say yes or no.
Speaking after filing an application at the Cabinet High Court through their lawyer, they said the Assembly failed to follow the due process, citing that the bill was not subjected to public participation.
Challenge the constitutionality of the proceedings of that particular day in view of the fact that, one, the proceedings were disrupted, there was violence, there was pandemonium, and secondly, on the grounds that the people were not involved, there was no public participation. So we have filed the matter under certificate of urgency. Right now, the judge is looking at it and will be getting directions in due course. 11 members of County Assembly voted for the bill, making Baringo County the first to pull down the amendment bill. Homa Bay, Kisumu and Siaya are the first counties that have passed the BBI referendum bill so far. Gilbert Nalwa, Maisha TV.
And Bonchari Member of Parliament John Oro Oyoka passed on yesterday evening following a long illness. The family confirmed that Oyoka passed on at the Aga Khan Hospital in Kisumu County, where he had been admitted. The legislator was elected to the parliament in 2013 under the People's Democratic Party (PDP) after the High Court considered a petition he had filed against the then winner Zebedeo Opore. Oyoka now becomes the 5th politician to pass away in a span of 3 months after MPs James Lusweti of Kabuchai, Justus Murunga of Matungu, and Senators Boniface Kabaka of Machakos and Yusuf Haji of Garissa.
Bonchari MP John Oro is dead. The MP died at Kisumu Aga Khan Hospital yesterday evening after a long illness. Oro was serving his second term in Parliament after a short stint in the Assembly in 2014. He was elected to the Parliament in 2017 through the People's Democratic Party (PDP). In September 2013, the High Court declared Oro the Bonchari constituency winner in a petition he had filed against Zebedeo Opore, who had initially been declared the winner by IEBC in the March 4th, 2013 general election.
Raha imejaa, nani hawezi kuwa na raha kama umeshinda? Kwa sababu mimi nilijua tu nimeibiwa tangu mwanzo.
In the election, Opore had garnered 8,982 votes, while Oro came second with 8,987 votes. Charles Onyancha came third with 6,897 votes. Oro served as an area MP for 6 months before the Court of Appeal ordered a by-election, which he lost to Opore. Judge Ruth Sitati, in election petition number 2 of 2013 at the Kisii High Court, determined that Oro was the valid elected member. The former secondary school teacher also worked as a senior official in the Ministry of Education before his retirement, and after his retirement, Oro opened St. Angelica Teachers Training College in Suneka Town.
Not long ago, he has brought buses to our schools, our secondary schools. And he was also planning to do his last bit to the schools that he had not yet given a bus. I can also remember wherever he has been helping secondary school students who are needy, he comes by himself to the ground to dispatch the checks to schools. I remember him so well for doing that for us. Yeah.
children in school, and those who are vulnerable members of society. He has worked very well, represented the constituency at the national level, and he started getting sick late last year. All this time he struggled with the disease, but we are happy that whatever God says is going to happen, at the end of the day it will happen, and pray for him and to say, may God rest his soul.
The legislator was admitted to one of the private hospitals in Kisumu town weeks ago before he was transferred to Aga Khan Hospital. Mid last year, Oro suffered a mild stroke and was admitted to the same hospital. He was later referred to Nairobi. Reporting for Maisha TV, I'm Victoria Magar.
The Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT has threatened to rally its members to strike if their employer TSC does not convene pay rise negotiation within 10 days. The NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion says that the current collective bargaining agreement CBA expires on June 30th, yet TSC has ignored numerous of their letters on their talks. Dishon Amanya has the details.
Mention them from 5 going downward.
A teachers' union has threatened to rally its members to an industrial strike if the Teachers Service Commission (TSC) does not convene fresh pay rise negotiation within 10 days.
Kenya is a democratic country with rules, regulations and procedures. This is a democratic country.
The Kenya National Union of Teachers is furious that the TSC is yet to kickstart negotiations for the Collective Bargaining Agreement (CBA) for the year 2021-2023 phase, which it argues it should have been settled in 3 months ago. NAT has rejected a proposal for a salary increment of between 16 to 32% that the TSC had presented to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission (SRC), arguing that it was prepared unilaterally. NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion said the current CBA expires on June 30th, while implementation of the new CBA is supposed to begin from July 1st, yet the TSC has ignored their numerous letters on the talks.
Tutasema ukweli. Yes. The truth will set us free. Yes. Na tutaendelea vizuri sana.
Mr. Sossion said the new CBA should have been finalized and signed by all parties by October last year. Sossion has now written to the Labour Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui threatening to call for a teacher strike should negotiation not begin in the next 14 days. Sossion said, despite numerous correspondence from 2019 urging the TSC to formally commence negotiation with the union, the teachers' employer has ignored the letters. Last month, NAT also wrote to TSC and threatened to call for a strike if the commission failed to invite the union for CBA talks.
Member of the National Executive Council, my name is the Register of the Registrar of Trade Unions. This gentleman is the National Trustee. Yes. So there are others hapo kando kando wajia chama kazi yake. Huyu ni National Trustee na mimi ni National Executive Council. Kama Sossion hapo hapa ndugu yangu.
Dishon Amanya, Maisha TV.
Lawmakers have moved to craft a bill that will criminalize the use of the hustler and dynasty slangs as employed by Deputy President William Ruto and his allies in their campaigns. The lawmakers believe that the slogans may lead to the disunity in the country, creating a rift between the poor and the rich. If the bill is passed into law, any leader, including the Deputy President, could face serious jail time, huge fines, and could be barred from ever holding any public office. The bill will also provide the basis for the removal from office for any leader found guilty of peddling the hustler versus dynasty narrative. The bill, sponsored and drafted by the Kiambaa Member of Parliament Paul Koinange, includes social status as a basis for discrimination, amending the NCIC Act 2008. The bill also gives an extra mandate to the National Cohesion and Integration Commission on the investigation and prosecution of perpetrators of hate speech, discrimination on basis of social status, tribe and race. The Homa Bay Member of Parliament, Peter Kaluma, who is a member of the committee, stated that the bill will give the NCIC the power to recommend action against guilty parties as well as keep in check utterances that may lead to violence. He revealed that the bill was derived by the consultation with the NCIC rather than focus on the individual.
We have given firm recommendations to relevant authorities that political incitement will not be tolerated anymore. Swift legal and administrative action must be taken against any and all inciters, regardless of their political or social standing in the society.
The leaders who are dividing this country, the leaders who are entertaining a class clash, we want to tell them, we will summon you. I want to ask the DCI to investigate these leaders.
People are free to assemble. What we are saying is a committee, we can only support what is said in those assemblies. That when people assemble, what are they saying? So that we have a provision, a legal provision that if you go beyond this limit, then the law can take court.
And now international news. Former Nigerian Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala received anonymous backing to become the first woman and first African Director General of the World Trade Organization. 3 months after the Trump administration rejected her, a self-declared doer with a track record of taking on seemingly intractable problems, Okonjo-Iweala will have a work cut out for her at the trade body, even with the Donald Trump, who had threatened to pull out United States out of the organization, no longer in the White House. As Director General, a position that wields limited formal power, Okonjo-Iweala will need to broker international trade talks in the face of the persistent US-China conflict, respond to pressure to reform trade rules, encounter protection heightened by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The growing domestic support entitlements of members must be addressed to level the playing field so as to provide opportunities for small-scale farmers. In addition, it is possible for an early agreement on removal of export restrictions, including favorable consideration of the exemption of World Food Programme humanitarian purchases. Likewise, we must also strengthen disciplines on industrial subsidies. In that regard, it would be important to ensure that subsidies granted by members to their state-owned enterprises in certain situations do not distort the conditions of competition. The issue of special and differential treatment is a divisive one that undermines trust. However, the voluntary action of some developing country members to not avail themselves of special and differential treatment in the future points a way forward. So does the Trade Facilitation Agreement, which allowed for taking into account each member's particular development status. The challenges facing the WTO are numerous and tricky, but they are not insurmountable. There is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel if we work together in a transparent manner that builds trust, builds bridges, diffuses political tensions, and encourages convergence. The pandemic and its economic fallout have highlighted the interdependence of countries, the importance of multilateralism, and the need to strengthen collaboration to achieve fair and balanced trade agreements that provide opportunities for all WTO members.
And that's all we had from Maisha Live at 1. My name is Rida Chebet.
Ilichapisha ripoti inayochunguza sakata la kansa na kusema kuwa
You talk, we listen.
The speaker made a communication that ultimately he doesn't want to have two her bills.
President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila
members who are members of parliament.
Sonar County Assembly has become the first assembly
SRC iliweza kupitisha mswada.
Kenyatta kwa kuja na hii program ya kusaidia.
Kenyans have had to dig deeper since the government is in a tight financial spot owing to COVID-19 measures that were removed.
President and Deputy President, 80%.
Following the declaration of the vacancy of the position of the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Kenya,
is Maisha Television. Choose it, watch it, and love.